Before we do the end-to-end workflow deploying to Railway, you'll recall from section 6 that when we ran the Railway deploy command from our terminal or command prompt, we first had to run that Railway login command so that we could authenticate our CLI session. Now that requires interactivity, you remember to open the browser and all that kind of thing. In the CI pipeline, we can't do that. And so how do we authenticate in CI? The answer is using a token. And so what you're going to need to do first is go into your Railway dashboard and go to settings, and then you should find this tokens part of the menu. Now the first time you open this, at least at the time of recording, tokens are in beta, so you'll need to agree to join the beta, and then it immediately shows up here. You don't have to wait or anything, and then you can generate a token, copy the value of that token, and then you need to assign it to this Railway token environment variable. So copy the value here, open up CircleCI, and you want to go to your project settings. I'll just show you where that is. So if we're here in the project on a particular branch, you can go in here to project settings and then to environment variables, and make sure you assign this Railway token environment variable. Just copy it over from your Railway settings here. That way, when CircleCI tries to run the Railway commands, the CLI will be authenticated and the commands will work. If you see any errors, 401s in the CircleCI logs, it's probably because you forgot to set this token. Okay, with that in mind, we can go through the whole flow. Okay, let's show the end-to-end deployment via our CI pipeline. So if we go into our project and look at the CircleCI config YAML file, we want to note this workflow with the deploy pipeline, and we'll be looking at the section 7 part. You'll notice that the deploy requires the tests to run, and that we've got a filter there on the demo branch. So I'm going to check out a branch called demo here, so that we can demo the whole process. And then I'm going to make a change to the project. So I'll just open up here in section 7 the app, and I'm going to update the version of the application just so that something we can test has been deployed correctly. Alright, so I'll update that to version 0.0.5 arbitrarily. Yep, so there's a change needing to be committed. I'll go ahead and commit that. Okay, now I'm gonna just push that. And once I've pushed this, I'll go to Github and open a pull request. So you would want to do this against your fork in the same way that we did in the previous lecture. So I'm doing it here on the main project repo. You'd do it against your fork. You don't want to open loads of PRs against this repo, because then you don't have control over it and you won't be able to link it to your CircleCI. I'm going to go draft pull request. There's a whole load of commits because I've actually branched off another branch, but the main thing to note here is that you can see the CircleCI jobs. There's our test app, and there's also one for section 8, which isn't going to work just yet, but we'll look at obviously when we get to section 8. So we can click through here to CircleCI to see these different jobs running in the CircleCI UI. Here's the test app job. It's running the tests at the moment. Looks like it's just finished after 41 seconds. And our test API test make prediction test has passed, so that's good. Now this is a two-step deployment. First we run the tests, and then you can see the second job there is the actual deploy step. And if we open this up, you can see it's been going through the sequence of steps required to trigger our Railway deployment. So there's the installing node, checking the node version, installing the Railway CLI, and finally triggering the Railway app publish step. And if you go to the config file here and look at this particular deploy job, then these are the steps, right? So these correspond to what we just saw in the CircleCI. There's our node version step, there's our install the CLI step, and finally, here's our railway deploy step. So we cd into the right directory, and then we do railway up -- detach, and that's what we see right there. And if we go into the railway UI, you can see that the deployment is underway as a result of the CI having kicked off the deployment. So this is the build step. We've got build logs. Looks like this is just finishing up at the moment. Not quite there yet. Oh, there we go. We go back to deploy logs. Yeah, there it is. So Evicorn running on that arbitrarily chosen port. Railway assigns that automatically. And yeah, here we can see that deploy job has succeeded with that little green tick on the left. So that's looking good. We don't need to worry about the failed section 8 job just yet. And if we go to the deployed app, this is the first time I've actually deployed it this way through CI, so it's still actually setting up. I think if I do a page refresh here, then it'll start working again. Yep, there we go. And here we are in our usual Open API UI. And if we go to the health endpoint and hit the health endpoint, you can see that our API version is the one that we've set in this pull request. So this has deployed the latest version of the code. So there we are. Instead of running things from our terminal, we've triggered it all in the CI tool, which is much easier to automate. We can have these sequences where first the tests have to run, and only then do we trigger the deployment. And it also means that we're not doing anything manually. So this is going to reduce the chances of error, make things more reproducible. So this is a really powerful way to set up our deployments.